Welcome back to the Regenerative Business Podcast with Sam Garcia. Today's episode is for anyone who feels like their content is technically good, but still not fully landing the way they want it to. We are talking about the hidden layer underneath visibility, traction, and thought leadership, and why the thing you're not saying might actually be the thing that changes everything. Let's get into it. If you've ever launched or you have learned about online launching or even building a funnel, there is a certain flow that most people recommend for your email sequence, what posts to write and when to post them, but they don't always work, even though they're supposed to work. One of those prompts you'll hear over and over again is something along the lines of, what do you believe that is different than most people in your industry? So if you're an expert in a specific space or on a specific topic, what do you believe about that space or that topic that is different than most people? Now, this plays and covers quite a bit of ground in the sense that it can elevate you into expert status by differentiating you from other people. If your people have tried all the things and they still haven't gotten the transformation they want, then this can help identify why everything they already didn't work in the past. And I 100% agree. This is a very powerful topic to write about, to talk about, to share. Now, if you have seen this prompt written on this topic and it doesn't feel like it's actually working, it might be because you are not going deep enough. There's a level of protection that you're keeping around yourself that's preventing you from actually getting the traction you want, getting the visibility that you want. And I wanted to share a story from one of my students around this topic. So I have a membership called the Regenerative Business Ecosystem, and we have multiple calls, live calls every single month. And one of the types of calls we do is a somatic embodiment session. And we go into trance during this. We're working with your subconscious mind. We're working with your soma. And in this last call, we were working with uncovering and sharing truths publicly and addressing the reality that most of us don't actually share the truths that we want to share because we're trying to protect ourselves. So one of the students DM'd me after the fact and shared this. I just wanted to share that this was one of my truths discussed, and she shared a link to one of her reels that she posted. This was one of my truths discussed in the last RBE meeting, and needless to say, this is one of my most successful reels to date in terms of traction. It also was generously collabed by the author of a book I cited, who beautifully articulated some of my related feelings. Please pass my thanks to Sam for the encouragement. Now, this is what is possible when you actually unearth a perspective that is truly yours and truly different that might even be a little scary to share. So in this video, I want to share some of the prompts that will get you to this point. But I want to highlight in here, like, this person was already creating reels, already posting about her topic. But when you actually go the extra mile of unearthing the truth within you and build up the capacity and willingness to share it, you get traction. You are supported. What you write or what you record actually gets shared more. And so this is such an important topic when it comes to business, because we need to switch from an employee mindset into an entrepreneurial mindset where an employee will just like check all the boxes and clock in and clock out for those 8 hours a day. Where the entrepreneurial mindset is, how can I make every single action I do or project that I work on be the most effective, give me the most results that I want? So this energetic, this deeper subconscious work, this unearthing of truths in this example before creating the reel, it might only take a few extra minutes to do that work, but it makes it so that instead of just checking the box of posting the reel, checking the box of sending the email, instead of the reel getting hundreds or thousands of views, it's now getting thousands or tens of thousands or more views, reaching more people, created a collaboration with the author she was referencing, so someone that she respects. Like, so fucking cool. So let's actually get into these prompts. I highly encourage you to take a little bit of time today to go into these. Now, if you do have a relationship with working with your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, going into trance states, I highly recommend getting into that deeper state before going into inquiry around these. But even if you don't, you will still unearth gold here. So our first truth prompt or set of prompts that I want you to explore is, think about your last launch or promotion, the last time you were actively selling something. What did you not say during the launch? What was the thing that you were holding back? Now, where do you soften, dilute, and over-explain? So if you think about the last time you recorded a video or you were writing an email, not just having AI write your email, and you were explaining a topic, notice, or can you remember that moment where you had to switch up your language, or you had to add a little bit more, or you had to soften your language because you were worried about how it was going to impact people? And then what are you afraid people would think? For those places where there are truths there, things that you want to share, but you either don't share them or you soften them or you dilute them, what are you afraid that people would think in those instances? Can you be okay with people thinking those things? Okay, and the second prompt I want to share with here is, and this is more of an exercise than a prompt, because ideally you're doing this to another person. This is what we did on the somatic embodiment session. I had people go out into breakout rooms and actually say their truth out loud to another person. So I invite you to do this in front of a trusted friend or peer. Speak as the version of you who doesn't hold back. Share your work, your offer, or what you would say in your next launch if you weren't shrinking. You can baby step into this. You can start by writing as if in your journal, and then you can read it out loud to your pet. Then you can go into a mirror and talk and riff, speaking as if you're that version of yourself who doesn't hold back. And then you can go ask your partner or a friend or someone in a mastermind group that you're in or a membership that you're in. Can I do this crazy practice? I'm really uncomfortable, but I know it will really help me. Then go do this practice. So these seem like really small, insignificant actions, but I hope you can see from the students' results that sometimes a thing that seemed silly or small, if you actually do them, you actually say the thing to a friend and then you actually go post that reel, that thing will get more traction, it'll get more visibility, or it'll have a higher conversion rate because it's speaking like a lightning bolt right to the heart of the people that you're here to serve. So I invite you to go practice this week. If you post it, please DM me at The Dirty Alchemy on Instagram. I would love to hear your story. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Regenerative Business. If this episode sparked something in you, I would love to hear from you. You can DM me over on Instagram at The Dirty Alchemy. Tell me what truth you've been holding back from saying in your business, your content, or your launches. And if you want deeper support around building a business that's visible, profitable, sustainable, and actually aligned with who you are, make sure you are on the waitlist for the Regenerative Business ecosystem. RBE is my membership for online business owners who want to grow through regenerative strategy, nervous system work, visibility, messaging, launches, offers, and deeper embodiment without the hustle culture, the manipulation, or performative bro marketing energy. We open publicly a couple times a year, but we also quietly open more often to the waitlist first. You can join the waitlist through the link in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, it would mean so much if you subscribed, you left a review, or shared it with someone who needs to hear it. A great way to do that is just screenshotting this episode and sharing it to your Instagram stories. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode.